Hi everyone. In this video, I want to share with you about constraint layout. There are many layouts in Android development, but constraint layout is the one that if we use constraint layout, we can actually design whatever user interface we want to design. And the most important rule is that if let's suppose we are using linear layouts, then in linear layout we are actually putting several linear layout nested in each other. Then later on Android Studio will have to and the Android system will have to compute many calculations that where to display the UIs. So the rule is that when you are defining a layout, try to make it as flat as possible. By flat I mean that don't put some layouts nested in each other, and constraint layout is the best one for that type of flatness. So let me show you through Android Studio. If we have any existing layout, let's suppose like this, then we can delete all the components by selecting the first one and holding shift and then select the last one and just click delete or press delete button, then everything will be deleted. So now this is already constraint layout. Let's suppose if it is not a constraint layout, it is maybe any other layout, then just right click on this one and then convert to. So in this case it is already constraint layout, so this is why we are not getting the convert to constraint layout option. But if let's suppose it is a linear layout, let me change this one to linear layout, then I want to show you. Now if I right click on this, then you see we can easily get convert linear layout to constraint layout. So you can change here also just by right clicking on the linear layout and select the convert option, and it will be converted. So when we have a constraint layout, then if let's suppose we drag any UI or any view, for example a button like this, then you see we will get 4 tiny circles. These 4 tiny circles shows that we can connect this button to any on these 4 sides to any other UI. For example, in this case the parent is the screen. So if I drag this one to the left, to the right, sorry, and this one to the left, so you see it will be constrained in such a way that the left side and the right side are like pulling with an equal force, and therefore the button will be in the center of the screen. So in this way I can drag to the top also. Okay, and if let's suppose any one of these constraint is not complete, you will get here a warning message. And if let's suppose I complete this one, so this layout, this warning message is about further details, but we already got the 4 constraints. So mostly every UI need these 4 basic constraints, and these constraints we can see here in the properties also. Let me see, like the from top 0%, from top, and from left, from right, and from bottom, from every side. Okay, and if you want to delete any of the constraint, just select that constraint that you want to delete. For example, if I want to delete the down constraint, just select and press delete, so it is deleted. Similarly, if I want to delete this one, right one, just delete. In the same way, if you want to delete these constraints from here, okay, you can easily cross this one. You see the down and the right are plus, meaning to say I need to add a constraint, and the top and the left I am not getting the plus symbol because they already have constraint. So if I want to remove this left constraint, I just click the cross button. So you see this constraint already also gone. If I want to delete the top one, just delete this one. So you see all the circles are still the same, and it is not connected to any side of the screen. So in this way we can adjust any button or any other control in the screen. Okay, so there are some other options also, like for example this magnet symbol. This magnet symbol shows some grid lines. For example, if I enable the magnet symbol, okay, now if let's suppose I delete this one and bring another button and drag it, so when I am dragging, so you see if I bring into the center of the screen, you see I will get a grid line, which tells me the horizontal center of the screen, that you see from left and from the right I am in the center now. So if I leave this one here, so it will be automatically set the left and the right constant, and the top and the bottom one we can do in the same way. If for example I delete this one and bring another one and come to the center of the screen, so I will get the horizontal one also and then the vertical one also. That vertically this is the center of the screen. So if I leave here, it will be automatically constant to all four sides in the center of the screen. But most of the time we don't want to use this because we want to set the constraints manually, so it should be off. Okay, another option is the default constraint. So this default constraint, the default value is 0. If you click this one, we are getting these options. We can select let's suppose default constraint 8 pixel or 16 pixel or 24 pixel, or we can type any one that, for example, like 50 pixel. So what does this mean? So for example, if I put 50 pixel, okay, and now if I bring up a button, okay, and now if I constrain this one, let's suppose to the top of the screen, you can see here the 50 values, that due to this default constraint there is a space of 50 pixels. Even not only this, but for example, if I bring another button, okay, and if I connect this one to this, so you see it connected to this, but still you will see the 50 value, the 50 default constraint there. So it will be away from this. Even let's suppose here you see again 50 from the left also, 50, because it is I think I drag it, otherwise it will be 50-50. Okay, now we can do like this also, that let's suppose if I delete all these and I bring one button and bring another button, okay, now if I connect this button to the right of the other button, you see again we are having the 50 pixel default value. Okay, but most of the time again we don't want to use the default pixels, the default margin, sorry. We want to specify this manually. Okay, so let's delete this. Another very important constraint that previously we were using, like match parent and rep content, this one is the 0 dp constraint. So it's also very important. For example, if I have a button, let's suppose I connect this right constraint to the screen, and if I have another button and if I connect this one to the right side of the, on right side I connect to the other button, and on left side if I connect to the left of the screen, now if I change the layout width of this button to 0 dp to cover, because why, you see here is a big space, so if we want that this button should be big enough to fill the whole constraint, the whole space, then just change the layout width to 0 dp. You see now it will cover the whole space. So this is another very important constraint. Similarly, using the constraint layout, if let's suppose we have two buttons, let's suppose this one is here, okay, and the other one is here, and if I connect anyone to each other, let's suppose like this, now if I change this button anywhere, its constraint is still the same with its relative to the button. For example, if you see here, you see the right constraint to this button, is still 8 pixel, the right margin. If this button go anywhere, but that button will be, even though it looks far, much far, but if you see the right constraint is still the same 8 pixel. So these are the different aspects of constraint layout. Now if you specify these different constraints, and now if you want to remove all the constraints, just click this clear constraint option. It will remove all the constraints from the from every control or from every view. Okay, there is another one constraint which is called expand. So for example, if this is selected and if you select this layout, let me connect this one to the left, and if let's suppose it is 92 pixel margin from the right, and now if I select the expand horizontal option, so you see it will expand horizontally, but if you notice here on the left it is out of the screen, so it is not so good property. We should use it manually. In the same way, if we select vertically, so then you see it will become like this. So we can use this expand option also, but mostly we should use our manual constraints, the constraints manually, not like this. The expand option is actually not so good one. So let's revert these properties. Now there is another option. For example, if I delete all this, okay, and if I have a button here, now if I click these two bars, so I can easily constrain this button. Let's suppose if I click horizontally, then the horizontal constraints will be automatically set, and in the same way if I select vertically, then the vertical constraint will be also select, and it's like from all four sides the button is pulled equally, so ultimately the button will be in the center of the screen. Okay, so in this way we can use actually different constraints on the buttons and other controls using constraint layout. And now if we have several buttons and we want to distribute them equally, evenly distributed, so we can do like this. For example, if we have three buttons, okay, like this and like this, okay, now select them all like this. Now right click and select them all and click constraint horizontally. So you see there will be a horizontally constraint. Now clear all. If we have three buttons like this, then select all and then click this two bars and click vertically. So you see they will be vertically constrained like this. And now if we want to distribute them evenly, meaning to say the space of the screen, the width of the screen should be shared equally among all of them, then there is a very important property which is called a chain. So to create a chain, then select all of them like this and right click on anyone and then click chains, and now it was selected one, so select all and now click the chain and now horizontal chain. So you see the horizontal chain is added, meaning to say the width of the screen is shared equally, or they are distributed evenly. Okay, now if you want to cover the whole screen, then how to do it? Select each of the button and change the layout width to 0 dp. Okay, then you see it expanded, but we need to change the same for the others too. Okay, now they will be equally distributed. Now you see they share the screen equally and expanded in such a way that every one of the button or every one control have equal share in the screen width. And the same we can actually do vertically also. For example, if I clean all the remove all the constraints, or maybe if I delete all, so if I put this one three buttons like this, and now if I select them all and click this two bars and click horizontally. Okay, now after that, when they are horizontal like this, the horizontal constraints are already set. Now right click on any one of that and click chain and add vertical chain. Now you see the vertical chain is added like this. Now you see they are sharing the height of the screen equally. So for example, now if I click this one, distribute vertically, meaning to say if I want to bring this to put this button a bit far away, or push this button to the top of the screen and this button to the bottom of the screen, so select them all like this and click this distribute vertically. So you see it will go a bit more farther from the buttons and near to the top and to the bottom of the screen. Okay, you can do this further also, but maybe you see it will go out of the screen, which is not a good practice. Another very important property is guidelines. For example, if I right click on the layout. So how to enable the guidelines or add guidelines, and what guidelines means, when I show you practically, hopefully you will understand. So for this purpose, right click on the layout and then click add helpers and then click vertical guidelines. So you see here we have a line like this. It show us the vertical space at the margin from the left corner, and we can actually increase and decrease like this. Okay, if you click on this one time more, then it changed to the percentage, and we can, you see, we can increase and decrease. So whatever control you put in, and even we can connect our buttons with this. For example, if I have a button, okay, and if I connect this one to this one, you see it will be always this much away from the left screen. Okay, similarly we can actually add horizontal guideline also. So right click on the layout and then click add helpers and then horizontal guidelines. Okay, so now we can have a horizontal sorry, this time I should add vertical guidelines. Yeah, you see this one is a vertical guideline now. So if I click, so we can see the percent. If you click again, then it change to percentage. Okay, and now we can change its value. So for example, if you want to constrain some control at some specific distance, maybe from the top or maybe from the bottom, you can do that one. For example, if I drag this one to this place, and now if I connect this one to this, so then the button will always be connected to this. Okay, so it will display always here. Now let's design the interface that we have already designed previously, but this time using constraint layout. So let me bring input box. So for input box, click this text option and then drag the plain text. Okay, so connect this to the top and to the left, and another plain text, connect it to the right and to the top. Now we need to create a horizontal chain. Right click on it, chain and horizontal chain. Now to equally distribute the space, select both of anyone and change this to 0 dp. Then select the other one and change the layout width to 0 dp. Okay, so you see it exactly looks the same that we want. Now the second input box for the date of birth, select this one, connect to the right, to the left, and the top one to any of the bottom of the top control input box. So you can connect to this one also, you can connect to this one also, to anyone. Now when this one is selected, so let's change this one to, you can change this to 0 dp also and match parent also. So I will select match parent. Okay, so now you see it's covered the whole screen like this. Now the second option for the fourth option for the country, so I will select connect this one to the left, connect to the bottom of the date of birth, and then drag a button, and for the button click the command and drag a button, connect to the right, and then the top one to the bottom of the date of birth. Okay, now again we need to create a horizontal chain. Select both of them and right click and chain and horizontal chain. Now to equally distribute the space between them, change its properties, layout width properties to 0 dp, and similarly for the button 0 dp. Okay, now you see both of them are sharing the screen equally. Sometimes if you don't want that the button should be that much big and you want the country space should be bigger than the button, then we have another property. We can check that one. For example, if we select this one and search layout weight, layout underscore weight. Okay, and then we get this, and the first one layout underscore weight. So here if I want to distribute that the 3 parts of the screen should be reserved for the country, then I will give the layout weight 3, you see, and now it push the button to the right that we cannot see. So how to select? Here in the hierarchy, select the button and then do the same thing for button also. But here I want to give one part of the screen to the button. So now you see the screen has the input box has a bigger part and the button has one part, meaning to say three part for the input box and one part for the button. Now to provide the hints for all of this, so select anyone, remove this search and click search here a hint property. So we can select here, and here we can provide any hint that we want. For example, if I type first name, okay, then I will select the second one and last name. But you see, actually the hints are not visible now. Why? Because the text property is there. Later on we will delete that one. So this one is date of birth. Okay, so this one will be country, and lastly the button. For the button we will change text. So let's go to text property. So you see this one is a text property, so I will change this one to apply. Okay, now select this one and remove the text properties, to just delete it to show the hint. So you see now the country is visible. The same go for date of birth. Remove the text property and we will see the date of birth hint. Same for first name and same for last name. Now we can see the interface exactly like this. So now if I run this program, it will look like this. It will look like this. So you can design in the same way. So I will create a link. So all of you need to design one registration form using Contraint Layout, and then upload the screenshot to the link provided in the e-link. I hope you learned. If anything, we will discuss again.